What's happening here? Somebody move something. Mm.
Good afternoon, my villagers. Again, I ask the question, how are you doing today? Pray all is well, but the news is still depressing. You know, wars, and rumors of wars. I listen to the news only because I must be able to report what I think should keep us alert with what's going on in our lives that we should pay attention to. I know all of you have heard about the boycott against Target.
Mm-hmm.
It's been running successfully, and but one of the organizers, Pastor Jamal Bryant, has called it off, or how he puts it, call off the fast. Well, these are other who's not agreeing with that. I mean, there are others. I mean to say who are not agreeing with that, and that's what you call, or that's what we call. Uh, we had not come to a consensus on this boycott.
Mm.
And that gets right back to what I'm trying to explain here with this title I have, Unapologetic Amateur Looking for Expert. I kind of want to shorten it to All Alpha, if you can pronounce that, All Alphia. Unapologetic Amateur Looking for Expert, meaning that until we are schooled in understanding our situation, specific to our lived experience,
Mm.
we are going to always have similar outcomes. We sometimes don't know how to come to a consensus. We think it means the same as being monolithic. Not the same. Whatever we do should come from a different understanding of the general meaning of things. Our language should be different. That is agreement, consensus, monolithic, all means different things from our lived experience. And until we realize that what we went through over 200 years ago was not just a crime, but also an injury. But in spite of that, we are still the greatest. Evidence shows that. Having said that, though, we have to understand that just because you're working with people who got letters behind their names or titles, don't mean they are qualified to cure what ails us.
Mm-hmm.
We are the only group that don't have a bona fide mechanism that would allow us to come to a consensus on our plans. We go around thinking in 50 different ways and feel good to say we are not monolithic. Every other group, though, has organizations like the John Birch Society, B'nai B'rith, and others, which allow them to come up with consensus on important issues before they get to the public. Oh, but I'm not blaming us. I say to you all the time, I don't blame us for anything that we do contrary to what we probably need to do. That's part of our ongoing sickness.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, we think it's who we are. Don't know it's who we have been made to be.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my next book speaks to that. Damaged Goods Made in America will further explain my thoughts. We were damaged, but believe me, we were not defeated.
Mm-hmm.
Survival is our proof of that.
Yes.
I'm also doing a documentary which will explain why we should see our condition as a virus that has never been tended to. But again, in spite of the virus, we still move in our greatness.
Yeah.
Therefore, again, these conflicts amongst us is part of our sickness. But our sickness does not diminish our internal greatness. We were damaged but not defeated. Survival is our proof. Now, I want to thank my crew, Sheila Bird, my producer. I want to thank Juanita McCry, my cure, uh, my advisor, and then I want to thank my promo folks. I want to thank Norm, engineer, and I want to thank Rose, my co-host. Without her, I don't know what I'll do. My name, of course, is Ruby Williams Shivers, your unapologetic amateur, still looking for experts in Africanism. I want to get back here with my man Norm. I want to give kudos to the man, our brother, the King, King Norm, for his
Yes, yes,
deserved
yes, yes,
recognition.
yes.
2 weeks ago, I think it was, two of my fellow podcasters
Sorry,
and
I
I,
missed it. Yeah.
Michelle Sessom and Sabrina Crumpton, from the podcast SIT, Sisters in Transformation, which will be on this evening at 12 p.m. We were there. I tell you, the New Jersey celebrities and other honorees came out in numbers. Our brother here, Norm, was given the
$20
2026
plus.
Our Legacy Award from the Royal Films of Newark. And you know our brother Michael Jordan from Newark just won the Academy Award. So Newark is in the house. But everyone treated me as if I were a royalty. I'm not sure if that was because a seasoned senior or it was reflective of the village respect. Either way, I enjoyed it.
Either way.
Either way, I enjoyed it. That's going to be part of our approach going forward, regardless of what's going on around us, and there is plenty. But we've got to reconnect to our divine center of resiliency by coming back together in unity, promoting ourselves, promoting each other,
Yes.
and the idea that God's help, nothing but that He will help us go through whatever we need to go through.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
We
nothing
can't
will
get through it
without it. Nothing will keep us down. No, he got our back. This is Women History Month still, and we do have a guest today representing women in all their glory. I'm going to be bringing her on later, but right now, I've got to tell you about my weekend. I
Thank
was
you. Did it give you a balance on here? Yes. Okay.
Technology is all not all that it's set up to be. We know that, right? Well, anyway, we'll continue to go on. This weekend, I was on a 2-day dance competition with my great granddaughter, Chastity, the one you see on the back of that children book. She won a couple of prizes, not a couple, one few prizes. Are you going to see her on Broadway one day?
Oh,
And
you
two,
have to do all that. Never mind. I could call.
She got to mute herself. Go ahead, keep talking.
and 2 weeks ago,
She has to mute herself.
I was at a book signing at the Broadway Library, along with 4 other authors, an affair sponsored by the Reverend Clyde Dunning, an excellent idea that I understand is going to be ongoing, sort of a community town hall affair, supplying information from our perspective. So keep an eye out for that, how we black people are moving the needle again. Speaking of moving the needle, those 2 queens I was with at the affair, they have the podcast coming on at 7 p.m. today called SIT, Sisters in Transformation. They will be adopting our African concept of bartering. It is a fantastic idea, and it's in the planning stages. So just watch out for these sisters. They're moving the needle. Now, I'll be participating as one of the guests on a panel of the Amistad Commission. It's still trying to convince these officials here in New Jersey that there should be black history taught in all our schools, grade K through 12, throughout the New Jersey school system. The Reverend George Britt of the Greater Mount Teman AME Church and Elizabeth is spearheading this affair and has been stalwart in his efforts since its inception. So keep an eye out for that. Now talking about my book again, my latest children book, What's in a Name? I'm so excited about it. Doing well, but we want it to become a bestseller. And so you are going to have to encourage your families and friends to get it for their children. A good read and a must read. Get it from Amazon or wherever you get your books from. Or contact me and I'll mail you a signed copy. This is not just a cute book, but an educational tool that will further enhance our children's greatness. A young man that I know, I call my bonus son, he came and he bought 10 books to
Wow.
give to total strangers, he said. To encourage children to read about things that's beneficial to their growth. Yeah, I was totally delighted. You know, I contend that to reestablish us, the African American, to our original greatness, we're going to have to first know what our greatness was and have those experts, specialists in African American educate us back to our greatness. But we're going to first learn that slavery, ma'afa, the word that we should be using for it, was not just a crime, but it was a crime with severe injury, and with any injury, it requires treatment. What we're doing here is to start with the kids, preparing them to study to be approved. Rose is going to give us an update, and then I'll introduce our guests.
Well, we're hoping. The children are very busy. It's amazing how busy they are. They're just as busy as adults,
They
especially
really
when
are.
they're growing, but they're busy with a good thing.
That's right.
They're busy with enhancing their knowledge and self-actualization of who they are and what they can be.
Yeah.
They are discovering their talents. All of them dance and sing and play instruments,
Yeah.
and they're very heavy with that. Very busy with schedules, with recitals and shows and so forth. But also they are learning, and that is so important. And that's the most important thing for them. So we're going to be putting together another program. At this point, it will be Black History, but I want to get with the children and see. We got 2 or 3 topics and see what they want to do, because we're heading to summer.
Yes.
And we're heading to what is it? They get out for the holiday.
For the 5 days.
Yeah, I don't know what you call it these days.
Yeah.
It was called a recess when I was in school, but I don't know what you call it. Anyway, they're excited.
Yeah, very excited.
So just be anticipating my children.
I guess
And what
school
they're
break,
going to
right?
present. Yeah, I don't know what they call it.
something
I
like
think
that.
they call it Easter break,
Yeah, the school
spring
break,
break,
spring
whatever
break.
they
That
call
is
it,
the word,
spring
right.
break. But they're excited for that, and they're excited to get started with their new project.
Yes.
So just look forward and be there to support them, because that's most important, villagers,
important.
to support them.
Extremely. You know, we take women in our community very seriously because they are a motivating force behind who we are today, naturally and by either intent, whichever way we make the best of it. Now, this young lady is revolutionary in spirit and in deed. She's doing things that a few females think of doing, and I understand doing it quite well. We are so glad to have her on, and I'm going to read bio, very impressive. And then we're going to have her on. This is Tanya McCall, a longtime native of Plainfield, New Jersey. It was always Daddy's girl. I'm going to have her to talk about that one. Being the eldest of 3, she helped out a lot. In the summer, she and her siblings spent many summer days in their father's air conditioning, heating, and plumbing business on 2nd Street. She attended Plainfield High School, where her hidden engineering talents were uncovered, while other students bought home flower, craft gifts for Mother's Day as gifts to their mom. Tanya was making electric lamps to give to Mom. Working in the office between breaks from college, she learned to manage her dad's office operations as well as service call assistant. She attended Rutgers University and then transferred to NJIT, New Jersey Institute of Technology, to pursue a degree in engineering. Some years later, she began to help her father with the business and gained the nickname Plumber Chick. Today, she runs her father's business and commands a work crew of men. Isn't that interesting now? And they still call her the Plumber Chick. Yeah, she puts the men to shame with her knowledge of the trade. You know what? That is interesting. Welcome, Tanya. Is our guest on? I can't see.
I
I
guess
think we
it's
run into a
here.
little technical problem. I think you have to unmute, Tanya. You may be muted. Okay. We got to get her unmuted. She was full blast there for a while. You got to get her unmuted. Okay. Still muted. All right. But in the meantime,
Could you call her?
yeah, we're gonna call Tanya because she's still muted.
Yeah,
But
in the
in the
meantime, I just want to say a couple of things about her
Okay.
because she does what very few women do.
Right.
She's in a business. Well, we have many black women that run businesses and very successful.
Yes, but this particular one
This
is
particular
kinda unique.
one is in a unique situation where she's the only female who commands all these men.
Okay.
And she's very, very, very serious about her work and about money.
Okay, I bet that.
She's well known in Plainfield.
Okay.
Among the businesses, she has done so many jobs for the businesses in Plainfield. You
Okay.
can say that she half built all of the businesses.
That's
in
an interesting
Plainfield.
story in itself.
Yes,
Yeah.
every business in Plainfield knows her.
Okay.
Map every real estate agency,
Mm-hmm.
every supply house,
Okay.
and not only Plainfield, but from my understanding, it's Irvington, New Jersey, Union, New Jersey, Carteret, New Jersey.
Okay.
She is all over the place in the state.
It
of
says
New
in her
Jersey.
bio she just was very interested in as a youngster.
Yeah,
From the youth up, she's been interested.
Absolutely. You never know what kids are going to develop to be.
Yeah, just watch their interest. Just
Right.
watch what they're doing.
Watch what they're doing. But
Aside
her-
from the ones that just into radio now,
Right.
TV or the computers, I don't mean that.
Right. And being able to go to the table of negotiation.
Yeah, yes.
With I noticed she did a lot of government contracts.
Okay.
So just to be able to have a seat at the
At
table,
the table.
to negotiate.
Well, that's what we got to learn to
contracts.
do. If you don't have the seat, bring the seat with you. And just
Absolutely.
demand attention. Then,
Absolutely, absolutely. I happen to know now that she's on a job site right now, so that might be part of the problem. But she's making time because she want to be here.
Yeah, we
and
definitely
I think
want to
it's
hear.
great to introduce women
Yeah.
to profession that have historically kept them out.
Oh, definitely.
You know,
Definitely. It's an
and-
encouragement to other women. It's
Absolutely,
an encouragement that they can.
encouragement to other women.
Oftentimes, if we don't see a thing, we don't think we can do a thing.
That's
But if
right.
we see it, then we could feel comfortable knowing that that is part of what we can do also.
Absolutely.
Same thing with us as African people. We got the hidden talents because they're there.
Yes.
Other folks have stolen from us, and now that we know that we're reading now about the history. One of the reasons I bring on these tapes that I bring on to educate it, because the education is all encompassing in that it's all over the place. It's all on YouTube. It's all, you can get it anywhere. So it's not a whole lot of excuse, and I don't even like to use that word because we don't make excuse. Ours is an explanation.
Right.
The explanation that we don't always get it is because sometimes we don't know it's available to us, but it's definitely available. Till we Norm, what I really would like to do right now while we're waiting on our guest is bring one of the
clips on.
and that would be good. Speaking of inventions or let me
got
see.
a lot of good ones.
Yeah, a lot of good ones. Go to inventions. I think that's that's good. Let's see what it says about it since we're talking and very inventive people.
GPS is a black woman. 3D imaging is a black woman. Laser eye surgery is a black woman. Escalators a black inventor. Elevators a black inventor. The roller coaster is Granville T. Woods. Roller coaster, everything.
The cell phone.
The cell phone. I was just watching the thing on the cell phone. Our video games is Jerry Lawson in Silicon Valley. They try not to mention him, but he's the reason why we have Xbox, Atari. He did the first, before Atari, the F1 series. Jerry Lawson, a black dude who invented home videos, sanitary napkins. It's a woman. Our ADT, our security system, is a black woman in Queens, Mary Van Brighton. In 1966, she invented the home security. You're talking about open heart surgery, Daniel Hale. plasma, Charles Drew. We can keep going. Surgical equipment, black people inventing, just constantly inventing. And they took everything and lied. But now things are coming into the light with all these black inventors. And black people are still thriving. Black women have the highest degrees in America. Highest degrees in America. These are the same women that were operated on with no anesthesia on their vaginas by that Dr. Mims guy who they just took down his statue in New York. These are black slave girls raped, but they're number one in academics. Black people invented hockey in 1895 in Nova Scotia, 22 years before the NHL. There's a book called Black Ice. You can see it. The atrocities that African Americans have been through, I'm surprised we are this peaceful. They used to make black people laugh in barrels in certain towns because they were too loud. So they go, you got to laugh in the barrel. Everybody around the world copies African Americans. GPS is a black woman. 3D imaging.
Excellent. See, that's the kind of teaching and the kind of learning that we need in our souls. We know that we're somebody. You know.
Is our guest here?
Like our great ancestor, Brother Jesse Jackson said, we are somebody. We got to believe that. And
Hello?
okay, I think we have our guest.
Our guest is here.
Okay.
Welcome.
Welcome, Tanya McCall.
Hello?
Hello. Are you on? Okay, we hear you.
We hear you. Just
You hear us?
are we having technical difficulties?
I don't know. It's not on our end.
But I heard her voice.
This is her face.
I heard a voice. But to the extent that we're going to move forward until we can get our guests on, what we're trying to express, and that was a perfect piece that came on, talking about not only the women, but the women that have been our inventors and many things that we didn't know up until even recently. We have been invented so many things, and many things that still not being given credit for because they took them from us. And if you take them from us, then we will have no way of knowing what it is that we've done.
Yep, we've come a long way as black people.
Yeah.
And I think black women are at the forefront.
Well, they were allowed there again, we have to always make the corrections or make the extension between what is look real and what is real. What is real is that they denied men even more. They denied them advantages that they allowed us in some part to get. Like, we are the most educated folks in the country, women are.
Yes, we
now,
are.
that wasn't because men didn't want to be. That's the way they had designed it. They do the design, and we just kind of follow in that. But it's yeah. So
like they allowed us to be the maids,
exactly,
and take care of their children when our men couldn't get a job.
Exactly.
And they were trying to. Well, I'm trying to think of the word demasculate them.
And
emasculate.
Exactly, emasculate. Exactly.
You know, but again we rise.
We rise. That's the story
and
of
again we rise.
That's the proof that they could not destroy us because of our greatness, in spite of all that against us. Unlike any other group, I was talking to someone recently about the idea of slavery, and okay, we got a guest on. We have
our guest is on.
Is on.
Yes.
We are just so pleased to have you. We did your bio, and it's such a bio. You know, it's so impressive. Oh, she can't hear me still though.
Oh, you gotta mute. You gotta unmute.
See, that's what happens when you're working. That's what happens when you're in the midst of working.
So we did hear us.
Do you hear us?
Just live radio. Yep.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
You can hear us now. Great.
Yeah, you got to talk into the mic.
But she
You don't
she
talk into the mic.
Yeah.
yeah, and she
No,
got
no,
to
no,
talk into the
not you.
mic.
Yeah.
I was talking to mom. Okay,
Hmm.
you're on.
But I can't hear her.
We can't hear her.
Uh,
Yeah, we can't hear her.
no, we can't. We can't hear you now.
Could you turn up your volume?
She got. She got to unmute. So we can't control that on her end.
Hmm.
You got to unmute your Zoom. Is it because you're on the phone?
Yeah, I'm on the phone.
Oh, now.
We hear
I'm
you. We hear
unmuted.
you. We hear you now. We hear you now, Tanya. Welcome.
Um,
Welcome.
thank you.
Oh, you hear us, Tanya, quite well?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay,
Finally,
good.
great,
That's
great.
what this technology
Yeah, it was like this
proves.
on the way to the studio today. It was just like
Okay.
so much going on.
We read your bio. I read your bio and just just blown away. Um, I was just so impressed. One of the reasons is because we don't see many women in this profession. And if we see, and it's certainly not black women, and you're just doing it all. What you have done is just so impressive. And my first question, first of all, welcome to our podcast. And my first question would be to you is what motivated you?
So what, get into plumbing?
What motivated you to become who you are? I'm telling you, into engineering. You know, that's kind of a leap from what we generally think of women or girls going into or even thinking about. I
Well,
understand. I just
money.
read where you kind of followed in your dad's footsteps, so maybe that was
Yeah,
part of it, huh?
falling in her dad's footsteps.
Well,
That's basically it.
well, can you guys hear me?
Very
Yes.
clearly.
Okay. Well, I got into this being that I have brothers and stepbrothers and uncles and family members that was in the field also. And my dad at the time was talking about retiring and giving up the business. And then I had family members always flying in and out of the country, and I figured why not keep it going for when my dad got it completely stopped, and he when he gets sick and got it completely stopped, and why let the business go? At the time I was having children, my brother was having children, and why let this money go?
Right.
But so I just kept it along to hold it for my uncles and my brother, but I think I just ended up doing this because either some of them had passed over, or they stopped, or they sick. So I'm just the one running and doing everything now at this point.
Sounds like you really love it. How have you been received generally as a female? How have you been received in this business?
Very well, very well.
Oh,
I get always the same reaction that you just did. I ain't never know a female. You the first female. X, Y, X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
I love it. I loved it. I did love it. I still do. I think, but it has its times where you be like, why? Or okay, keep it coming. I hate the calls coming. You asked Miss Moore, and I always, when she calls me, I'm like, I can't talk right now. I got something to do. She's like, okay, call me later. So it stays. It's got its time.
Right.
My best time is the winter. Because I love installing. Yes, because I love installing boilers.
Okay. All right.
And with that, and the guys that's been doing it for way before I decided to come into this business. And my dad, like, all right, I send my daughter, because they'll call him. Like, okay, I send my daughter. Your daughter? She said, he goes, yes. She got it. Now it's like, I didn't know you could wire up boilers. So no matter what I want to do in this field, if I say I want to quit, I could just make money with wiring up boilers,
Okay.
or running gas lines.
Mm.
You know, yeah.
Yeah.
I try to do it all.
Well, let me ask you something. How was running a business? Because I know that business entails a lot of things like contracts and estimating the job, looking at the job, and you just doing it all, being a mother of 2 boys and carrying on the job that you do, because I know today you're in the middle of a job. And we appreciate you taking away from that job, because I do know that you have men under you that could handle it momentarily while you're on camera. But how was that? Because what I know that most of the viewers don't know is that you are a kidney transplant. You've had diabetes at the age of 6 years old. And you have been resilient, and you have persevered,
Obviously.
and you have been able to. I remember one time passing by and seeing her car with a big hole in the street and a big yellow Caterpillar, one of those big dump trucks,
Right.
and or utility trucks. And I peeked down in the hole, and she was down in there with their yellow hard hat and 2 men. And how
Isn't
old were you
that
about then? 19, 20?
So she's been on the case for a while.
Yeah.
Every day, I remember.
Been on the case.
I'm in a lot of holes.
So I understand you have the the 2 boys. Are they interested at all in following in mama's footsteps?
No, they not. But my youngest son, I think he's starting to have a little interest, because when I bring him to work with me, because he works with his father, who also he doesn't do plumbing, he does heating and cooling.
Okay.
Okay. So he works a lot with his dad, and his dad sent him a lot on jobs by himself. So when he go with your mom, and I take him, he do ask questions, or he go, "Mom, let me do it. I got it."
Okay.
Just stand and watch me and tell me. So he got a little interest, but I think that's because he see he can make some money.
Oh.
Like all young people.
Like
all young people.
I have a great granddad. That's her whole thought process. The one I went to, she's a dancer, and she knows how to get. She knows how to make money. I tell you, it seems like the
Must
young
be
folks
Chastity.
Chastity.
Yes,
that's what it
she's
is.
always concerned about. And Tanya, I understand that you handle a lot of the contracts, the money, the negotiation, even with government contracts. How does that go? Dealing with the powers that be.
Well, with the government contract, I think I believe my dad just sent me in there because I'm a female and a minority. I can easily get them.
Well, that's good. Well, you have to teach.
That's a rarity. I mean, my word, a female and a minority. Those are 2 of the things usually that keep you out of.
Yes. That is very commendable. That is very commendable.
Very commendable.
I did have a question for her.
I want to know, when do you realize that you had this talent? I mean, you just followed your dad, you say, but when do you realize yourself you had this talent?
Well, no, because I like to. I am handy. I put together things. So me using tools, wasn't nothing to me. Because I like money, and I wanted to hold on to the business. It wasn't even so much about money, because nowadays it's not really about money. I get a joy out of helping certain people, some people. You learn as you go with what kind of people you can help or be lenient to, or just be nasty to.
I can
But
imagine
you learn. you learn the people you could work with and not.
Right, right. Well, that's in every
Yeah.
profession. That is in every profession. Now, what advice would you, if you had to give to females out there today, not understanding that they can get into a business like this, it just kind of seem like they still feel that they're outside of it. What advice would you give them?
Well, to do it, uh,
Mm-hmm.
like to if you ain't all about the ooh and ah is nasty, do it
Mm-hmm.
because that ooh ah nasty is money. You
Okay.
know,
Uh-huh.
I'm not get feared. I'm not. They don't. They don't give me a choice.
Mm-hmm.
And I say that because if we working in the house and they're cross spaces and all the guys I deal with, they big guys or tall guys.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the one crawling in the hole. The
Okay.
one they use me. They
I
use me.
see.
But get my advantages. I go to a restaurant, I get a nice little discount, or I
Mm-hmm.
eat for free. I
Mm-hmm.
install beauty salons and barbershops. I build up restaurants. I'm working on a banquet hall now, running
Okay.
2-inch gas lines.
Mm-hmm.
So get my advantages on my kids' benefit. If I don't benefit, somebody gonna benefit
Oh
from
yeah.
something. You
Right.
know.
Well,
Uh,
the society will benefit from you when we do
Yeah.
things. Particularly, I call it the village.
Hmm.
We do things.
yeah.
It's beneficial to our village, and that's what we really with this crazy thing that's happening in our government right now. We got to learn to come back together as we have been doing
Yes.
and develop our own stuff. Because we can do it. I mean,
Yes, we
we
can.
just had a piece on before you came about the women inventors, you know, and folks like you who just do it in spite of, you know. And so those are the kinds of people we would like to recognize, in particular this Women History Month. You're a perfect one for that. I'm just so really impressed with it. Now, how old are your children?
That's telling my age.
Well, don't mention age. You never have to tell mine.
My oldest, it'd be 29.
Oh,
He'd be 29 next in a couple 2 weeks,
okay.
and my youngest is 21.
What do they
Okay.
do? Do they do the business? I heard you said they're not really interested, but the younger one is coming around. What does the
No,
older one do?
the younger one, his name is Timon. He does HVAC. Which is he in cooling, but he deals with furnaces, ductless units, venting, and so forth and so on. That deals with that particular part of the business. And my oldest one is
Techie?
he does some in computer, so he like does networking. He's into building his own computer.
Okay.
Um, 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 and he's back in school, which he'll be graduating in about 3 more months for cybersecurity. So
Okay.
anything with computers, he that's what he does.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Yeah,
wow.
that sounds like
That is just great. That is just
Well,
great.
Norm, I'm going to ask you if you would bring up our villagers now for a minute. So I just want to see who's on board with us. I know we'll get back to our
And
guest.
then we'll get back to you. We
Yeah.
still got some questions.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Robert is on the house. He said, okay, Robert, hello, family. I'm here. Dino Robinson, I'm listening, Ruby and Rose. Lloyd Shivers, good afternoon, family. Askia, much love. Okay, Jabbar, my nephew down there. I'm listening on to a great topic. Yeah, it is. I tell you, we're very impressed with the female president. This is Women History Month, and we couldn't have brought her on in a better month. But I'm just excited about how she came on under the tutelage of her dad
Mm-hmm.
and was excited, and he saw your talents.
Yeah.
And I guess he encouraged you to continue, huh?
Yeah. How long you been doing
Yeah,
this? How long have you been doing this?
20. My son be 29, 24 years.
That's a long
24 years.
time.
It's a long
That's a
time.
long. So we can say that you are expert.
Right. Oh, that
Yeah,
definitely from
yeah.
what she just described, how
You
she
are
gets
an
down
expert
in the,
in heating, air conditioning, refrigeration, and plumbing. That
Mhm.
is
And
incredible.
yeah, it's to the point now, as my father would say, I throw at his customers, because all they call and ask for me now. They call and ask
Okay.
for me.
That
Send your
says a
daughter,
lot.
send your daughter, send your daughter.
Okay, that says a lot
Yeah,
about
So,
that says a lot.
your own expertise. You know.
Mhm.
Now I see where you went to
yeah,
Rutgers, Rutgers University, and then you transferred to NJIT. That was kind of heavy. What motivate? Well, at that time, I guess because you was in this business, you just knew you was needed to go into the tech world. But when you first went to Rutgers, what was your interest?
I really didn't have any.
Okay.
Oh, it sounds like you were
Now, so
forced by
that's
your
why,
parents.
so, you know, I,
Mhm.
and you know what? I can't even say I really didn't have any, but at the time, I didn't know what I wanted to
Right.
do.
Okay, yeah.
Mhm.
So before going to NJIT, I took a break be, because I wanted to get into coming out of high school. I wanted to get into computing,
Hmm.
Okay.
and my sister happened to be in 9/11, so that kind of killed everything.
Yes.
Then you know, I start I had a son at the time, so
Mhm.
I did anything. My mom, my dad said you could do anything you want. I support you. X, Y, and Z. So I said,
Mhm.
okay. So I was like, well, what's the next thing to drug dealing to get money? So I construction at the
Okay.
time, construction.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So
Okay.
so
Well, you
and
got.
I just stayed with it because I liked it. It was
Mhm.
like the attention. What I didn't like is like kind of just getting hit on all the time. You know,
Okay.
it really wasn't no eye candy out there for me.
Oh, with the
So
men, being around a lot of men. I understand that.
Uh-huh.
yeah,
What was it like in the
and yeah.
classroom? What is it like in the classroom around a bunch of men and here's this little female walking into the classroom?
Mhm.
They didn't like me because when the people from different companies come and do their seminars, they once I said my name, they knew who I was.
Okay.
They
Okay.
dealt with my dad. You so and so granddaughter. Your dad. You know, I'm in the master plumbing league with your dad, and my father even go to his league, and he don't know who I know out here beyond the people he knows.
Mhm.
And one day he calls me up, and he goes, I don't want to walk into my meeting and you to talk no and you the talk of the table.
Ah.
So I'm like, what did I done do out here? What I got myself into? Like, and he goes, I said, well, what happened? Why I'm the talk of the table? Everybody talking about how good you is. This one unexpected your job, and this one done, you done did work in their child
Isn't that
house.
interesting?
It was all good things. So
That's
I
good.
said, instead of calling me, you should have been smiling from ear to ear.
He was. He probably was. I'm sure he was. You got to be proud of a daughter
Yeah,
like you.
that she does an
Yeah.
unusual work and she does it
Uh-huh.
very well because you have to deal with inspectors. How is it dealing with inspectors in the city when they
You
see a female has done the work?
well, no, they a lot of them love it. They when they look at the paperwork and they see the name, they stop. As I watch them, they stop and just think, and they go, "You not McCall's daughter?" And I'm like, "Who?" So I don't say with a lot of things. I don't say that's my dad.
Right.
With
Hmm.
certain things, I do say I do actually they know him.
Hmm.
But I know the stuff he deals with majority of them because you figure majority of these inspectors are Italian. They of anything but us, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's about
And
right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I
it's
didn't know that.
because he got all his credentials. Is you get the hatred thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You get
Of
the
course.
hatred thing.
Right.
Hmm.
Right.
So when I go out, you know. say, "Oh, do you know McCall?" Or they'll go, "Oh, you McCall's daughter," or they know my work.
Right.
They know how
By
my
your
dad
work.
works.
Right, and
They
that's what's
know we not
important.
sloppy.
Yes.
And it's like if I even put a permit out for somebody and they go to the job and they see that the job is sloppy and they start talking to the other contractor and they'll say, "Well, I know McCall didn't do this, so who did the work?" And they go, "Oh no, McCall." He be like, "I know he didn't do it and I know his daughter didn't do it." So and then they have to tell the truth. So we do have a name. A lot of them don't know my dad, but they know of my dad,
Right.
By the
and
company name.
they
Okay.
they know
By
who
the
I
work you
am.
done. By
Yeah,
the work you
right.
do. By
And
the
the-
quality
right, and the
work you do.
reputation.
Yes, the
And the
reputation.
reputation, and
the
that's
work you
most
do.
important.
Well, that is so impressive because we know that outside of the discrimination against female, you know, there's a just a discrimination against black people.
Yes,
period.
yes, yes.
But the
yes.
idea that you put your foot in the door, got your feet in the door,
Yes.
and opening it up for other people, that's the
Yes,
important
that's
thing.
the important thing.
Uh-huh.
That's the important
That's the
thing.
important thing.
Some of the inspectors give me their name and their number, they personal number, and they say, "If you need anything, you have any issues, give me a call.
That's a
I
great
will help
thing.
you, you know, any way I possibly can."
That's a great
That's
So,
a great
you know.
thing, and
Yeah.
that's probably
So
because
I
you're a female, right?
Anyway,
and that probably because of the quality of your work. You
Right, and a
apparently,
female,
female,
right.
but the quality of your work because regardless, if you weren't doing the great work that
Exactly.
here that you're doing,
Right.
you wouldn't be called.
Exactly.
So that is a great thing.
Especially among inspectors that
Right.
that don't look like us.
Right.
You know?
Exactly. You can say that again. Norm, if you could bring up my crew again, just I want to make sure I got, because I didn't. I failed to send out my notices today to remind my people to watch. But it's a good thing. I'm just feeling good that they think about
Tuned
it
in,
and
yes.
tune in on their own.
I know her.
Yeah, Joy Jackson in California on board. He said, Reverend Dunning, good. Okay. See, these folks are still keeping us a good afternoon, villagers. Good afternoon to all of you. Hello, family. Robert Cabbage Stock. We are just so pleased because this is what keeps us going. Like Skia, keep us motivated to
Yes.
keep bringing the news, bringing the good news. I said to I think I was talking to you earlier, Rose, about how with us under this present administration, I don't know what to call it because it ain't, you know. We just got to be prepared. We
Yes.
got to believe that there's got to be something better. But where I come from from a place where it just not history. I say to people, what we went through, still going through, it's not history. A lot of people like to say, well, that was then and this is not. No, it's an ongoing process that we yet got to come through. And we're doing great work because in spite of all that we've gone through, we still produce greatness. And you wonder how, why. I don't know anyone else could do that. So it speaks to our greatness. It speaks to us as a people that have done things and are still doing things.
Right.
I've been reading about the inventions, and it just blows my mind because I read a lot. But some of the inventions that they're bringing up now, I never knew what was happening. But I am so impressed because this is Women's History Month, and we brought on someone who is so representative of what we talk about in women and what they can do. Tanya, you tell us about you mentioned your two boys. So are they with you in Plainfield, or are you outside?
She doesn't live in Plainfield.
Oh, she doesn't live in Plainfield. Okay, all right.
Where do you
But they
live?
live with their mama.
Oh, okay. There's nothing wrong with
They
that.
are mama's boys. I understand they are mama's boys.
Like you were daddy's girl. I read here in your bio. So you were daddy's girl. They could be mama's boys. I tell you. So what how you intend to continue this work? I shouldn't ask it that way because you're still a young woman, in spite of what you may think. You're still a young woman, but you're going to be doing this forever? Or you see any retirement in sight?
Back and forth. Man, I would still have the business, but I hold a couple of licenses under my belt. I'm not
Okay.
just plumbing.
Okay.
I HVAC, cosmetology. So I could jump around when this business gets slow. And for me, it's about to get slow during the spring and summertime.
Yeah,
It
slow
gets slow
season.
for me.
Yeah,
Oh,
slow
okay.
season.
I jump to something else. I go with HVAC because that's air conditioning. So
Uh-huh.
you know,
Very
but
versatile. That's
I
good.
jump around.
That's good.
That's excellent. That's what
That's
you.
good. Is the money good?
Now.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the money should be good. I'ma just say it like that. The
Hmm.
money should be good. It ain't what people will think, because I get a lot of, I know you're making that money, girl. I know you're making that money. And
Hmm.
I'm like, I just laugh and I'm like, what money? But at the same time, the one who's saying that is the main one talking about, can you do better?
Mm.
So,
And my thing is, in this an economy now with everything going
yes.
up,
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
when you call anything in construction, like electrician, carpenter, you gotta know you going to pay a lot more than you want to pay.
Okay.
But
Mm-hmm.
and I tell most of my clients, you ain't paying for what I'm doing. Your money's going to materials.
Okay.
And with the gas going up and the things are traveling from different countries, they charging us a lot.
Yeah.
Carpenters, they wood done jumped out the sky already. So
Okay.
you need 2x4 to build your house.
Mm-hmm.
Where maybe it used to cost 10, 15,000, now it's 30, 40,000.
Yeah,
So
materials. Yeah.
everything is going up,
Hmm.
and then people just figure
The
you're supposed to
tariffs.
just take your money
Yeah.
and buy the materials, and your labor don't mean nothing.
Yeah. Well, they
So
don't
I deal with
understand.
a lot of that, or I
Mm-hmm.
deal with I got to start turning my back now
Mm.
because it's getting ridiculous. And
Mm-hmm.
these are people that have a good job that can pay, or should I say, they pay they pay the other contractor to come in. That's not like us, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
then something messed up with them, and then they want to call me or
To clean it up.
somebody
Hmm.
that's in the field to clean it up. But then
Hmm.
when you give them that same price, it's, oh, well, this one ran away with my money. You
Well,
call back who you got to do the work.
right. Right.
I
Hmm.
Well,
don't know why you calling me. I can't come here because he messed up and you want me to do it for $10. That's
right.
not working on my behalf.
Yeah, well, that's
You
part of
know?
that. Their ice is always colder than ours. I understand
Absolutely.
what you're saying,
Absolutely.
but we have to understand it from that perspective. We haven't
Right.
gotten there yet where we know who we are and
Right.
whose we
Right.
are.
Right.
But we are so appreciative of you coming on. You got to have you again because this is very interesting and very inspiring, and we need to hear this kind of thing in our community, in our neighborhood, so we can move out of what been assigned to us. We
Mm.
do this, that, and the other. We can do whatever we need to do. We can do whatever we want to do. We can do whatever
Yeah.
there is to do.
Yes.
So we are very pleased that you could come on, and we appreciate you. And I'll tell my village, I appreciate you all calling in. Just keep supporting us. We have some great things coming forward, and we're just going to be prayerful and hopeful that we can get through what we're going
This
through.
administration.
Yeah. And
Yes.
yeah. So my
But God is
villagers,
good.
God is good all the time.
Yep.
Y'all keep watching. Y'all keep supporting us, and we're gonna keep bringing you the news, because what is the saying? My people will perish for lack of knowledge, but we
That's right.
intend to bring the knowledge. We
That's
intend to
right.
continue to get the good knowledge, the one that's going to inspire you,
Yes.
one that's going to lift you up, make
Yes.
you know that in spite of all that's going on in the world today, we still God's children, and we're
Yes.
going to survive. With that in mind, we're going to say, howdy-o, We'll
Yes,
see you
thank
next
you
Saturday.
so
And
much for
thank
coming.
you so
Thank
much.
you.
I've been
You're welcome.
inspired.
You're welcome.
Been inspired, Tanya. I tell you, Tanya McKay, a long-time native of Plainfield, New Jersey.
Yes, yes, yes.
Bless your soul. Okay, you get.
Y'all have a blessed day.